Out of the ruins of Babel and the scattered tongues of men, the voice of God called one man, not to build towers, but to walk by faith. This is the journey of Abraham, a man, a covenant, and a promise that would shape the ages. The voice of the Lord came unto Abram, saying, Get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And so Abram obeyed. With Sarai his wife and Lot his brother's son, he departed from Haran. He walked not knowing the end, but trusting the one who called him. But faith is tested in the fire. A famine came, and Abram journeyed into Egypt to dwell there. Fearing for his life, he said of Sarai, She is my sister. But the Lord plagued Pharaoh's house because of her, and the truth came forth. And Pharaoh said, Why didst thou not tell me she was thy wife? So Abram was sent away, preserved by the mercy of God. The land could not bear them both, and strife arose between the herdsmen of Abram and Lot. Abram said, Let there be no strife. Separate thyself, I pray thee. Lot chose the well-watered plains of Jordan, even as far as Sodom. Then the Lord spoke again, Lift up now thine eyes. To thee will I give this land. I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. And Abram built an altar unto the Lord. Years passed, and still the promise tarried. Sarai said unto Abram, Go in unto my maid Hagar. It may be I may obtain children by her. And Hagar conceived, but strife entered the house. In her sorrow, Hagar fled into the wilderness. And the angel of the Lord appeared beside a spring, saying, Thou art with child, and shalt call his name Ishmael, for the Lord hath heard thy cry. When Abram was 99, the Lord appeared unto him and said, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect. Thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And Sarai became Sarah, for kings would spring from her. And Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, saying, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? But the Lord said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were filled with great wickedness, and the cry rose unto heaven. The Lord came down, and Abraham stood before him and said, Wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? And the Lord said, If I find 10 righteous, I will not destroy it. But there were none, and fire fell from heaven. Lot fled, but his wife looked back, and became a pillar of salt. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said. A son was born, Isaac, the child of promise. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. Yet strife rose again, and Hagar and Ishmael were cast out. But the Lord heard the cry of the lad, and promised, I will make him a great nation. And it came to pass that God did test Abraham. He said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and offer him upon the mount I will show thee. And Abraham rose early and went. Isaac said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb? And Abraham answered, God will provide himself a lamb. And when he lifted the knife, the voice of the angel cried, Lay not thine hand upon the lad. Now I know that thou fearest God. And Abraham lifted his eyes, and behold, a ram caught in a thicket. So Abraham called the name of the place Jehovah-Jireh. The Lord will provide. A covenant confirmed, a son preserved, and a seed destined to bless the nations. But the story does not end here. Next time, the sons of Isaac, the dreamer Joseph, and the birth of a nation.